Hi, happy Monday, everyone. I wanted to give a quick update on some of the things that are growing in the garden. The last time I did a video, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, but since then, the temperatures have warmed up and all of our little plant babies and seedlings have started to grow. So I want to take you guys along to show you the progress. All right, so we want to start off with showing you guys the palette garden, which we grow many of our aromatic herbs like basil, the marigolds. We also use this during the fall for leafy greens like kale and garlic, things like that. So those are doing pretty well. As you can see on the other side, it mirrors what I showed you previously. The exact same thing, and it smells so good. Next, we've got this front bed here that we've got some pollinator-friendly flowers. We also have this artichoke that we've had for about 2 years now. This is the second year, and I wanted to chop it completely down or pull it up, but it comes back and it's so beautiful. And right when we were getting ready to chop this down, we looked inside and saw, look, the artichokes growing. So we're suckers for anything that looks like it's living its best life, and we're gonna keep it there. We also have some cucumbers, and if you guys remember the cucumber trellis, Tyler's actually going to be putting this back together so that as our cucumbers are growing over here and over here, they can begin to climb over the trellis. And of course, like last time, we're going to train them. We also have some carrots and some chives growing right here, and they're going to be companions to the cucumbers, and hopefully they're going to do very well. Next, we've got this bed, which is dedicated to the sugar snap peas, as you can see, that are coming up here, and some radishes, okra, and radishes on the other side. The radishes grow pretty quickly. I hope that they can begin to develop in time before it gets too hot. But yeah, they only take about a month to fully grow, and we're looking forward to that. I know you're probably wondering, why is this lettuce right here? This is a volunteer. We actually grew lettuce here a couple of seasons ago, and I guess it decided to grow back. So I'm gonna munch on it. Of course, I'm gonna pull it up so that it does not hinder the growth of the radishes, but I think it's pretty cool how nature works. And here's our okra and the sugar snap peas and the radishes here. This is a volunteer. I think it's a sunflower. I am thankful for the birds that feel that they need to spread seeds everywhere, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing. We also have a squash that is also a volunteer here. So we're going to just let them do its thing. If either one hinders the growth of the other, we're gonna pull them up and hopefully maybe move it into something, into another place where it can grow optimally. Next, we've got the middle bed here. If you guys recall in the last video that I did, this is really dedicated to our pollinators. We also, in addition to the pollinator flowers, we're actually growing some kale. So here we've got our thousand head kale. We've got some Russian kale here, and the reason why we're growing the kale here with with some of these pollinating flowers is because the kale, it grows upright, so it's not going to spread as wide, but it will grow vertically very, very tall. So we figured that that probably would not serve as a hindrance to the other things that are growing lower, but we will see. This is an experiment. As you can see, everything is also moisturized or saturated with water. Our drip lines are working very well, and yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. Next is our bed, which is going to be dedicated to the watermelons. I actually transplanted some of our watermelons seedlings from the greenhouse into this space already. As you can see, it's about 3 o'clock. This space gets a lot of sun. So we've grown watermelons in this location previously, and they did really well. So we're hoping that it will stay the same. We've got our drip line here. And the grounds are looking really good. We're also thinking about possibly building a trellis so that everything can grow vertically. Our melons can grow vertically versus all around the grounds. Even though we'll train them to go in a certain direction, I think that vertical is definitely an option that I am considering. I also wanted to show you this random little tomato. I can thank the birds for that because this is a volunteer, but we'll be pulling it out and putting it into a safe space. Next is the taller garden, or the taller bed with our tomatoes. Here we've got our Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes, which is doing very well. It's already formed. Ooh, look, 2 tomatoes. We also have another tomato here. We kind of gave them a little bit of space to grow. We have a trellis that we have that we built previously for our sugar snap peas last year. We kept it here. I don't think the tomatoes will find anything wrong with this extra support, so we just kept it here. In between here, we've got some parsley growing. We also have our little basil coming up. That's going to be in the middle of the tomatoes as a companion. And we've got our other tomatoes over here. So everything is looking good. This is the space that I've showed you guys previously. My grandparents actually planted these, or we planted it together. They did the basil, and it's looking pretty nice. They're beginning to flower. So they should hit their stride very soon. The temperatures have increased and everything is just looking like it is enjoying this warmer weather. Even some tomatoes are growing right here, as you can see. So this bed, all in all, is doing very well. I have some oregano growing right here, some marigolds, and also our celery. Next, we have Octogarden. It's amazing how much everything has grown over the past 2 weeks. Like, it's really tripled in size. Lemon balm was like, a third of this size about 2 weeks ago. Same with this African blue basil. Really everything that we put in here. So I'm very pleased with how all of the herbs in Octogarden is coming along. And you guys see some spaces, but very soon all of these blank spaces are going to be filled with different things. We put down seeds, and so they're starting to come up, and with the temperature being warm and optimal, we're going to see a lot of changes in the next couple of weeks. We also have our sage, our bay leaves, our stevia that I actually transplanted into this pot. I wanted to, this grew out of control last year, and I just want to kind of have a little more control over the stevia growing. I love it. I just don't have the space for it to go crazy. We got our oregano and also our Chinese motherwort. I love this plant. Not only does it have some wonderful medicinal properties, but it's just a really beautiful plant, and the foliage is really lovely. This is also getting ready to put out some flowers, and I'm so excited to see how they look, but just an overall lovely plant. We also have our just culinary herbs here. We've got different types of sage. We've got different, our eucalyptus here, which is doing very well. It's humongous. And no, I do not desire to chop it down. It looks very happy here, and it's survived. This has been, what, 2.5 years since it's been here? But all in all, that's everything in Octogarden, and it's doing so well, and I'm so happy, and it smells amazing already. Next, we've got the smaller beds over here next to the greenhouse, and this is really for our peppers and Swiss chard. I also tried to sneak in a little eggplant. I think that this is going to be too much crowding, but we'll see. Next, we have our garlic and our onions. They're doing very well. They're starting to come up. We also have some German chamomile next to here, next to each of these to serve as a companion. And these do not have the drip line, so we actually have to hand water these 2 beds, which isn't a problem. They're small, and I like to kind of, use that time to check on everything. Oh, look at that. There's another volunteer. I'm gonna pluck this up and put it next to its other little cucumber friends. I think it's a cucumber. Now, last but certainly not least, we have this fun experiment that we are doing this year. On the other side of the greenhouse, we've got our in-ground garden that we've expanded to. I will be very honest with you guys. I am not confident of how everything's going to grow here. I did my best. Tyler and I, we put our brains together of how we can try to amend this soil, which is very clay. It's got a lot of rocks. It's, can get hard at times. So we tilled up the ground, and everything is really just, we softened everything about almost a foot down, and we brought in some compost, brought in a little bit of perlite, as you can see, just to try to keep everything aerated and not so compacted. But we put our corn down on this row. We've got different types of corn that we'll be growing. We've got some corn in the back, and we also have some green beans. I know you're looking at these like, oh man, those look so sad, and they do. The reason for that is because I transplanted these from the greenhouse out here, and so I'm hoping that they are going to bounce back. If not, we have some more seeds that we can put down. They'll be late growing, but that's just our backup plan. But I'm crossing my fingers and I'm praying that they will be okay. Next is the third row, which we have dedicated to squash. Same thing. Those look very, very sad because we transplanted these out of the little beds right here in the greenhouse into the ground. There's just more space, and we wanted to see if they could grow in ground. But yes, they will hopefully bounce back. I'm not sure, not completely confident. I'm not confident about any of this, but we will see how everything grows and how everything goes this season with everything being in ground. I will keep you guys posted on the progress, however. And lastly, we've got this ridiculous banana plant in the greenhouse. I put it into a pot, and it's really living its best life. It's so happy and it's so big, and quite frankly, we're a bit concerned that we're gonna have to bring it outside, because at the rate that this is going, this is well over 7 feet. We're gonna have to bring this out. It's just gonna outgrow this space. And here in North Carolina, the temperature is just not ideal for keeping a banana plant outside year round without it being, hindered due to the drop in temperatures sometime. So I don't know. I welcome any feedback that you guys have regarding growing bananas or a banana plant. I want to keep it nice and lush and happy, and if we need to bring it outside, then that would be great. But for now, it's here, and it looks like it's gonna outgrow the space. So, I welcome you guys to just hit me up in the direct messages with any type of comments and your experience on growing this plant. And now, this area right here is pretty much done. I'm actually going to be pulling up most of this, harvesting the last of this, and putting more plants down into here. The weather is warmer, so we're going to be seeing some bolting of the lettuce. I'm going to pull that up, replace it probably with tomatoes or something, or most likely, I really like different types of kale. Kale does very well in here, and so I'm going to probably put down more kale plants in these beds. But these are definitely done, and we have some more growing outside, so I think we've gotten enough out of these sugar snap peas. And this is one last look of everything. I like to just kind of document the progress of the garden each season, just watching how everything starts out. It's just so lovely because, in a couple of weeks, everything's gonna be, so, big and lush, and, we're gonna get all of the fruits and the vegetables growing. But it's just always great to see, how far we've come. And, I really just, I'm humbled by really just how the garden evolves each season, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this. All right, so that wraps up the tour of all the happenings in our garden. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, especially regarding that in-ground space that we are starting this year, we welcome them. Please feel free to just direct message us or comment under this video, whichever you choose. It's all welcome. And on that note, that's it.
thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.